It's dark now. Thank God it's dark now. This way is better. This way, I cannot see them. They come out during the day, during the night. But night is better. So much better. Because I cannot see them. Sometimes I can feel their breath. Sometimes hot. Right down the base of my neck. Sometimes it is cold. An icy blast that chills me to my very core. Sometimes I can hear them breathing. At first, distant, a slow, even pace. Then, as they get closer, excited, panting almost. But I can feel no breath. I can always feel their presence, even when I cannot see them. I've known about their existence since I was 6, maybe longer. Some people call them ghosts, others demons. I've heard the term shadow people tossed around. I refuse to accept this term. They're not people. They can't be people. People don't walk around with bleeding stumps of missing limbs and act like everything is fine. People don't have fangs for teeth and blazing red cores for eyes. People have substance. Those things have none. No, they are not people. I believe that there are thousands of them, though it has occurred that it could be 3 or 4 that can all change shape. Some of them appear somewhat normal. The vast majority are horrible, terrible projections of some eldritch abomination that has long since been lost to the ages of time, or erased intentionally from the history books. It seems that every day they grow bolder. In the beginning, they were nothing more than figments of my imagination, a fairy tale that I took a little too seriously, told to me by my uncle. They would simply hang there, in the corners of my eyes, never approaching, hardly moving. It was 2 years before one approached me. It had waved one of its 4 hands, bleeding and cut wide open down the center, as if someone had taken a blade and run it down the middle finger to the palm in a straight line, extending towards me. It had passed through me. There was nothing to it. I had let out a sigh of relief which, as always, somehow managed to dispel that immense, gripping fear of death that every human being possesses. Since then, things have changed. They have become bolder. After that incident, I thought little of them. Maybe they were just the projections of a fearful, possibly even diseased mind. A mind wrought with disorders. A rotting thing, filled with the stench of decay, the pulsating of maggots, just eating away. I suppose it doesn't matter in the long run. It was another stretch of time before they started moving things, hitting things. I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist. I hardly have a high school education, but I'll try to make a guess. I think they're concentrating, manifesting themselves into something more real every day. But they started with breaking things in my house. Vases, chairs, the cat. They progressed rapidly. They followed me everywhere I went. It was then that I started to appreciate the true beauty of the night. I can't see them at night. I can hear them, all right, but I cannot see them over my shoulder. I cannot see them breathing heavily and staring at me hungrily, though sometimes I can see the eyes, and from those eyes I can imagine the rest. Eyes bright like the fires of hell. The drawn-out breathing enough for me to tell that it's coming from a horrid, capsized chest, bogged down with rotten waters. Had it simply been breaking things and being horrifying, I may have just left this story on the corroded shelves of my mind. But something happened yesterday that made me realize that I need to share this. They killed an old woman. I saw it. I was outside walking. I walk often. I can't stand to sit still for too long without closing my eyes. She was on the opposite side of the street, and she interested me. Dare I say, she captivated me. She could see them too. She looked more frightened than I'd ever seen anybody before. Her wrinkled lips were moving silently in something that I recognize, only because I've recited it endless times myself. It is the chant of the faithful, of the damned, of those who don't know what else to do. She never finished it a second time. The things were upon her quickly. They devoured her. It was silent. It was bloody. I had to try and turn away, but I simply could not. This big one with blades for hands that hung crookedly, like some screwed-up version of a bug's leg, started shredding her remains apart, shoveling them messily into its mouth, which consisted of nothing more than a gaping black chasm. The lips, cracked inhuman things, tinged red. It finally clicked that these things could, and would, kill me. That's when I fled. I should have helped. But by the time that thought went floating through my shocked mind, there wasn't anything I could do. I ran back inside like the coward that I am. That's where I am now. I had a mental debate with myself, some inner turmoil and anguish. But I've decided to share this, so that somebody else knows. Oftentimes I think back to my uncle, the one who told me the story. I never saw him after that. My parents maintained that he had gone on a long vacation, which I was content to believe, until my 16th birthday party, when one of my distant cousins let slip that he had been murdered. Torn apart, they said, limb from limb, a rosary in his hand. And I wonder why he shared the story with me. Why? It's been some time, but I have my rosary at hand. I know the chant. Our Father, who art in heaven. The whole 9 yards. I don't think I have anything more to say. If I die, someone now will know how it came about. Over the last few minutes, the fear has really been settling in, because it's dark, but I can see them now. I can see them. Oh God, and they're glowing. They're glowing. That heinous damned yellow light of the sunrise. I'm posting this now, as the sun rises higher, slowly. I hope for the best, but the outlook is bleak. God, how I hate the sun. I wish I couldn't see them. It would be better if I couldn't see them. Somehow. It would be better. A chair appeared in the kitchen. The chair has 2 legs. I'm sure of it. It has to. I count them several times a day. 1, 2, and it ends there. There are 2 legs on this chair. 2, I'm sure. Yet, how can there be 2 legs? How would a chair stand on 2 legs? How does it work? 1 leg on each of the back corners. Yet it still stands. How are there 2 legs? How? But there it is. I count them again. 1, 2. I'm not sure when it first appeared, but it's been in the kitchen for weeks now. I don't dare sit in it. I'm not sure how it would hold me. I don't want to end up like the cat. I found the cat one day, dead. Its body twisted and broken under the chair. It looked like it had been crushed, its fur matted with blood. I wanted to move the chair to see if there was anything I could do, but I do not want to touch this thing. The chair is alive. I'm sure of it. I sound crazy. I know I do. But it's waiting for me to sit in it, so it can kill me like it killed the cat. But I'm not going to give it the satisfaction. I'll never sit in that chair. 2 days ago, 2 agents knocked on my door. They were investigating something, but they wouldn't tell me what. They wouldn't even show me their badges. How was I meant to know who they were? I turned them away, but they came in anyway. As soon as they saw the chair, one of them called someone, and the other spoke to me. He told me they were going to sort everything out and that I shouldn't panic. I could hear the man on the phone, briefly. He mentioned something about dimensions. A scream came from my kitchen, followed by the sound of liquid spilling. We ran in, and on the floor, under the chair, was a puddle of blood and the remnants of human organs. A hand was left on the floor. It's etched into my brain and I can never unsee it. The chair has 2 legs. I counted them. 1, 2. The other agent knelt down to get a closer look. He seemed unfazed. He accidentally touched the chair slightly. It had 2 legs, then 1, then 0. I'm not talking about the chair anymore. This man began to disappear in front of me, his body contorting and morphing as blood and organs spilt from him. By the time it was over, much of what had fallen out of him had also disappeared. For a brief moment in the chaos, a brief moment, I counted 3 legs on the chair. It had changed. I don't know why, because I have counted the legs every moment since, and it's only ever 2. 1, 2. 2 legs. Only 2. Why were there 3? 3 is not the same as 2. 3 and 2 are very different, and I do not understand. It's only a difference of 1, but it's also a difference of everything. How were there 3? I woke up this morning and one of the men's heads had appeared on the floor, along with the phone the man was using. I picked up the phone. It still worked. It was covered in blood. The chair still had 2 legs. I called the most recent caller. Someone answered. They thought my name was Jason. My name is not Jason.
Jason?
They said. I didn't pay much attention, as I had decided to count the legs of the chair again.
Jason, was it the chair? Where have you been?
The chair still had 2 legs, but not the same 2 legs. It was both of the back ones, but now it was one at the back and the opposite front leg.
Jason, hello. The readings say the chair is still moving through the 4th dimension. We need to find it. Did you find it?
My chair has 2 legs, and it's driving me insane. I'm sitting in the chair as I write this. The chair still had 2 legs this morning. I've counted 15 times since my last post. It feels harder to count them each time I do. I couldn't wrap my head around how this chair continued to stand, and it broke everything I knew. Sometimes I would count the back leg first. Sometimes I would count the front leg first. It did not change anything. 2 is always the final leg. I didn't sleep last night. I just stared at the chair. I could feel it staring back at me. I tried not to count the legs too often. Earlier today, a police officer knocked on my door. I didn't get her name whilst she was alive. She showed me a picture of Jason and his colleague, and asked if I knew anything about their disappearances. I don't know if it was my pale face from living a nightmare, or my bloodshot eyes from lack of sleep, but she didn't buy my... No. She came in, pushing past me, and went into the kitchen. I had cleaned up the blood and guts, but it still smells terrible. She took one look at the chair and looked at me. She could sense something off about the chair, too. I knew I would sound crazy if I told her everything, and I'd get blamed for everything that's happened. That's the chair with 2 legs. I spoke calmly, whilst inside I felt anything but. She did not take this as the warning I hoped it would convey, as she immediately pushed the chair to see if it would fall over. She screamed as her hand seemed to shrink, and as this effect worked its way up her arm, like someone squeezing a tube of toothpaste. She reached for her gun, instinctively using the hand that had just disappeared. Somehow, though, it worked. The gun seemingly floated in the air as she held it. She stared at it for a moment, but only a moment. The gun disappeared, and her arm continued to vanish. Soon, it wasn't everything vanishing, only her skin. Blood poured out. This is the second time I've seen it happen. The second time I've seen the chair consume someone as if they were nothing. I felt myself trembling. I wondered if the chair was alive, if it could think for itself. Does it enjoy what it does? I counted the legs to distract myself. 1, 2. I counted backwards. It didn't change anything. 2, 1. Then, again, it happened. For a brief moment, around the time her heart hit the floor, the chair had 3 legs. Then the chair was gone. She was, too. The blood, the organs, everything. It was as if the chair had cleaned up after itself. I thought it was over. It was not. I reached for a spoon and threw it at where the chair used to be. It froze there, mid-air. A loud bang came from my bedroom as the spoon fell. I slowly made my way into the bedroom. I creaked the door open, and there it was. The chair. 2 legs, both at the front now. I counted out loud just to be sure. 1, 2. Speaking out loud did not change the outcome. I had hoped it would. I still had Jason's phone in my pocket. I wanted to use it, but something else came over me instead. I'd had enough. This chair was driving me insane, so I decided to do what I thought I would never do. The very thought of sitting upon the chair made me feel dread. The kind of dread you get when there's something you know you have to do, but don't want to. Make no mistake. This is something I had to do. Something told me it was the only way forward. As I sat on it, I did one thing differently from everyone else. I made sure that no part of me was touching the ground as I made contact with the chair. I jumped back into it as I sat. I think this is why the chair chose to spare me. I didn't morph, I didn't contort, but the world around me did. Walls moved, furniture shrunk and grew. Holes appeared in the floor and ceiling. It slowed to a stop, and I've been too afraid to get up from this chair since. I don't want to touch this morphed world. I couldn't understand why the chair didn't consume me. I thought at first that it was torturing me, killing people in front of me yet refusing to put me out of my misery. But I know better now. I noticed I could see through my wall. There's a gaping hole, yet no debris. I could see my neighbor, sitting in his dining room. I could see through his skin. I could see inside of him. Yet he continues to sit there as if nothing is wrong. I looked down. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 legs are here. I sat here in a broken world, yet this chair, it finally makes sense. It finally isn't broken. This chair has 4 legs. I notice surrounding me are the bodies of the chair's previous victims. Jason, the police officer, the other agent, the cat. They were scattered around me, as if they were never torn apart. But what did that matter? This chair has 4 legs. There are 4. 4 legs at last. The phone in my pocket rang. This isn't the first time it's rang. I answer it now, with a smile.
Jason, we think we have a lock on the chair. We're coming to get you.
My name isn't Jason, and the chair has 4 legs. I hung up. A few minutes later, 4 agents show up. I could see them through the walls before they even entered. They made their way into my bedroom and seemed to pretend they couldn't see me. One of them spoke into a radio.
The chair is here, but nobody else is.
He didn't know I could see through his skin.
It has 2 legs.
Why was he lying? It has 4. I can count them all.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I spoke out loud to see if they would pretend not to hear me. Hello? They all looked around. One spoke into their radio again.
Someone is here, but they're not on our cross-section of the 4th dimension. They've rotated through it. I don't know how they survived.
He didn't touch the chair, but I did reach out to him as he got closer. I wanted to see if he would stop pretending he couldn't see me. He started screaming. I'm not sure why. He looked fine. In fact, his skin was back. He fell backwards, knocking into all of his colleagues. They all got their skin back. They were all screaming. Then they all dropped to the ground. I think they're dead. But the chair has 4 legs. Everything should be fine. I don't know why these agents were so interested in such a normal chair. They should be more concerned about the rest of the world. Everything is broken. I'm not sure what these agents want, or where they're coming from. I'm still trying to figure out what the agents meant when they spoke about dimensions. They're probably going to send more agents out soon. I wonder if they'll pretend not to see me too. My chair has 4 legs, and it's keeping me sane. It all started on the 14th night of March, the night of my parents' 20th wedding anniversary. It was a wonderful, sunny day, if memory serves. Surprisingly warm for before the beginning of spring. The beautiful weather was perfect for the atmosphere of the day. Being married for 20 years is obviously a momentous occasion, so my parents had booked a table at our favorite Italian restaurant. Of course, this was a formal occasion, so I had my best suit on, and I was just straightening my tie when my phone went off. I'd received a message. That's strange, I thought. That never happens. I checked the message. It was from my mom. It was quite a jumble of numbers and letters, but through the vocabulary stew, I could make out one legible phrase. Please help me. It should go without saying that this worried me greatly. So I immediately replied, Are you okay? Just as instantly, I got another text which read, Oops, pocket text. I sighed with all the relief I had and continued to prepare myself. A few minutes later, I received yet another message, this time from my dad. I checked the text, and once again it was a massive mixture of letters and numbers, with the phrase, Please help me, concealed within. Creepy though this was, my dad was always a joker, so I presumed he was just joking around, until I was sent another text saying, Oops, pocket text. Now this sparked panic. Pure, unmistakable panic. Exactly half a minute passed when I received the exact same 2 messages from my sister. This could not be coincidental. It just couldn't. In a state of sheer anxiety, I started to run to the restaurant. I made it about a quarter of the way before I was stopped by a police officer.
Main road's closed,
he said.
Huge car crash.
This was the exact moment I realized just what had happened. I demanded to see the wreckage, a request which I was surprised was allowed. When I got there, it wasn't the remnants of the car that caught my eye, nor the flames billowing from the destroyed vehicle. No, I was horrified to see the lifeless corpses of my mother, father, and sister. I asked for the estimated times of their deaths. All 3 of them were killed instantly, by the collision, at 5:32. A minute before the very first text,